Hey guys, what's up? Hey, test one two, test one two. We're not live. We're recorded right here in the awesome studio. Hey, what's up, far and wide here in Texas and beyond? Hey, what's up, guys? It is Friday, or no, not. See, I was one day ahead of myself. I wanted it to be Friday so bad, but we're one day back. It is Thursday, August 7th. We're at 5:25 a.m. Guys, I woke up this morning about 4:50. Miss Terry had to get up by 5:30, so I said, you know what? I get up at 5 already, so I'll just tune it back to 4:50. So I get up. I want to be the first one in the shower, get all ready. Had to even shave this morning. I know it looks like I didn't shave. I shaved around and all that, kind of getting a little grubby and all that. Hey, welcome you guys to another awesome episode, right here of C10 America Mornings. Hey, what's up? Hopefully, you guys, you're out there in the shop, you're at work, you're driving to work, you're in traffic right now, you're listening to us, getting on, the 121 or getting on I-35, whatever, wherever you guys are. We have an awesome show, today, this morning for, a bit. I want to come on here and talk to you a little about, our awesome metal prints, guys. Our metal prints, we just started doing, a couple months back, we just started doing show boards. And I know, a bunch of you guys and, gals out there for, that matter. You're going to, truck shows. You have even a truck show coming up, like, the one we'll be at. We'll be at, the Classic Truck Nationals, which is held right down there in Gainesville, guys. Put on by Sean and Diane Settles right down there. Matter of fact, hey, guy, Diane got her new classic, truck. I think it's might be a 69, 70, 71, something like in that era. That is, awesome. Hopefully, we see that out at, their show this August 30th. Yes, we'll be there at the show. No, we won't be a vendor out there. We won't have a booth. We're going as a spectator. And I guess, guys, call me a content creator. I guess, social media guru. And, anyways, guys, I I see all you guys out there doing some awesome content. We're gonna try and do some awesome content out there at the show for the channel. We're looking at taking the YouTube cam out there. We can't do everything at one time, so we're going out there early, in the morning before it gets too hot out there. And I'm gonna bring the 4K camera. Look at, pardon me, looking at having other batteries and batteries and memory cards on me. So we get there early. We can shoot some YouTube content for the channel, all that. So hey, we want to know who all is going to the Classic Truck nationalist. Let us know. Put a comment right down below, the video. If you're going out to the show, let us know, because we'll be out there. We'll be out there taking photographs, doing videos, doing interviews, all that. Even getting content from the old, podcast right back there. By the way, guys, if you have not heard our podcast, it's a worldwide podcast. Let me say it again. Yes, it's a worldwide podcast. Dude, we have guys from Japan. We have people from Saudi Arabia, from India, from Italy, from the UK, from the Netherlands, and earlier this year, right after I got the table done, I sat back there, and if you remember, if not, go to Spotify.com and look for C10 America Talks over on, the podcast. That is C10 America Talks over on, the podcast. But we took and we sat down with Sam Hard from, Hard Up Garage on the podcast for a bit. We're talking to Sam, about what he's doing over there, and then what we're doing here on the stage, and all that stuff. It's maybe if you're listening, Sam, it'd be an honor to meet you up close and personal right here. We don't have that other podcast, Gears, Grease, and Gasoline, going. We kind of took that over and kind of changed the name, and now it's C10 America Talks, on, the podcast. So anyways, if it's anything C10, we'll talk about it. That gets us into, talking about your passion, your drive, your determination. And by the way, guys, I just saw an awesome video over on Facebook Reels yesterday, or last night, last evening, whatever you call it. But there's two little girls, two little, sisters, and they were helping Dad do a restoration, a body off restoration on I believe his old car, old truck, whatever, what have you. That was awesome. They were in their little sundresses, and they're out there helping Dad, and they're changing their rear end of, this old truck, or, this old, car, and they're using all the tools. They're wearing the, mechanics gloves out there. They're doing, all this cool stuff that, you or me would do in a shop, in a garage, and that's awesome. That's what I say every day about, we need to get, the younger generation involved in, restoring, these old trucks, these old cars, all that stuff, and get them out of the house, off the couch, from playing games, like on TV, Nintendo, whatever, Game Box, or whatever. See, I don't even play games, and I don't know what they all are. So, anyways, get them, I say all the time out there with Dad, or, Granddad, or, their uncle, and teach them something useful that they can use as, they're growing up, and changing out, their rear end of a classic car or a classic truck. That is awesome. It does not get, better than that. So, anyways, guys, I'm going to shift gears back over to our awesome metal prints. We took and we started doing show prints, and I was going out to all these shows, walking around, taking photographs, all this yada yada yada, and I kept on seeing, the same thing is, a lot of you guys out there have show prints, and some show prints are they're on cardboard, or they're on thick, maybe card stock, or like card, maybe a backboard, something like that, and they have a laminate over it, and they're kind of usually like an arch, and they stand up, and they have a plastic, holder, and I'm thinking, and I've seen it, dead on out there at the shows, and I've even heard some people out there complaining that they spent all this money on a show board, and it doesn't really hold up, in Mother Nature, the sun out there, and maybe if a storm cloud comes over real quick and it drops, droplets of rain just for a little time. Well, that show board that you guys spent all that money for to have designed and all that, if it's made of, I would think, cardboard, or maybe like a thick foam board, foam stock or a plastic or something. And let me tell you guys that plastic, if you have it printed on kind of hard plastic, and you have it out there. Me and Dad used to be in the plastics business out there in California for many, many, years, until, we had started back in 1989. As from 1989 until we stopped in 2014, we stopped. So we had been working in, the plastics for a bit out there, making stuff out of hard plastic and all that. And even though we worked on maybe half inch or maybe inch thick, polyurethane plastic, and we seen over time, just from leaving some plastic out in the shop, in the alleyway, over time, over days and all that, the sun rays would eat at, that plastic, and it would break down all the molecules in that plastic. And it was like over time and over days, you could leave something out there, like say 1 week, and the next week come out, and it would start getting a chalky residue, and that residue was plastic. Excuse me, being like decorroded or derode. How do I even say that word? Corroded, not deroded. Corroded from the sun. The sun was breaking down everything, and it was becoming like almost like a chalky mess, out there. And then sometimes you would be able to a real thick piece of plastic, whereas before it was so strong you couldn't bend it or break it. It becomes very, very flimsy, bendable, So what I'm getting at, folks, is some of these show boards out there, they're made of plastic. I don't care what kind of plastic they're made out of, but you guys put them out in front of, your truck and cars and, all that at these shows on almost an endless basis. You go to, if you're like, my buddy Jamie Opelt, or you're like my buddy Tom Abel. Tom has an awesome C10 truck he built himself. Jamie got an awesome hot rod, factory 5 hot rod. Anyways, these guys, why am I bringing them up? I tell you why, because both go to car shows all the time. They live and they breathe car shows. So they're out there all the time showing their car, showing their truck. And sometimes, they have little displays, out front. Now, I don't think yet they have a big show board, but I'm saying that to say this, a lot of people are out there at, these shows. So, meaning if they have a show board, they want to show off their truck out there, all the specs and everything they did to it, and the love, the passion they have for it because they built it, they did not buy it. They want to share that with you guys when you walk by, their car or truck out there at the show. What better way to do it with a show board? Well, the ones I've seen, they're either foam based, like hard foam board, or plastic. Well, what I'm saying, really, to get right down to the brass tacks, the sun is not your friend when you have one of these show boards that are either plastic, they're like a cardboard, base material, or they're just maybe a, foam board, whatever. Anyways, you spend all that money on them, and then you can probably use them at 2, maybe 3 shows tops in the direct sun. I mean, hey, we live here in, Texas, and it gets hot here. So I imagine it gets hot out where you guys are all over. We got fans out in Hawaii. We got fans in California, New Mexico, Arizona, New York, wherever. And I believe, and Colorado, Roller and Derek, they're in Colorado, in, Parker. And, I'm thinking, that the sun is everywhere and every show. And so, yeah, it's going to break down after, time and, all that. But I'm here with a fix for you. We took and we started doing metal prints as show boards. So, there's awesome 20 by 30 metal prints. Well, those are horizontal. So we had somebody that contacted us probably earlier, this year, and they're thinking about getting a show board made. You know what? Let me play around with that. Let me see what I can do. So I played around with that, came up with a design, did a mock-up, for him, sent it to him. He loved it. And so ours are on thin aluminum, thin metal, the same metal we use for, the awesome metal prints. But ours can withstand, the sun and the elements out there. I tell you why, because we made a metal print a year ago for a friend of ours down in Graham, Texas, and thank God nobody was hurt in this, but his shop and his dad's shop burnt to the ground. It was like a electrical fire. Anyways, they came back, the next day to rummage, through stuff, and he saw something sticking up out of the ashes, and he went over and he pulled it up. It was a corner or something. He pulled it up, and it was our metal print that we did. His awesome Apollo. By the way, his Apollo was fine. Nothing happened to it. It was parked somewhere else during the fire, and so I think nobody told me anything happened to it. So, anyways, it was parked somewhere else. It looked, I guess, fine, whatever. So he sees over in the ashes, and he pulls this up. It is a metal print of that Apollo that we did a year before. It had soot and dirt on it and ashes. So he gets a bottle of window cleaner, he sprays it all down, and then he wipes it off. And he took a picture of it before and then after, and he sent it to us. Excuse me, I'll see if I can find, the photograph. But it looked just like it did when we brought it to him, when, it delivered right to him. And so I'm saying our metal print held up through a fire, and it was still intact. It was in very, very hot heat, and it did not bow, it did not break, it did not smudge, it did not smear, or it did not bend. And that right there is a true, in my book, it is a true testimonial, if you will, to, our metal prints. And our metal prints come in different sizes. You can get 20 by 30, which if you're a member, it'll save you some money. If you're not a member, I'll save you some money. Head over to, the group C10 America over on Facebook. Matter of fact, we have a video coming up at 9 o'clock. We do it live every day, Monday through Friday, in, the group over on Facebook. So today is the last live for, this week, or tomorrow is the last live for, the week. So, today and, tomorrow. But anyways, save you some money on a show board. Normally they're $350. You're wondering why so much? Well, that's not a lot compared to other show boards out there. Other ones that are not metal, that are, say, plastic, and they're a foam board, or, this, that, the other, they're probably about $500 for a show board. And then, the more custom you get on it, you're spending the time of, the designer out there. And like every designer, I'm a designer, every designer out there, hours that we have to spend on something are money. And because our time is valuable, our time is not just, come and go. We don't just open something up, you do something real quick and spit it out, and that's it. No, we take our time, and we have a talent. All of us creators out there, whether you're a content creator or what have you, photographer, whatever, you're very, very talented, and don't ever let anybody sell you short. And you know what you guys are worth out there, and so anyways, there goes a lot of time, energy, and a big thought process goes into designing you guys a show board. And for somebody that can throw it together and just get it gone, get it out, they're looking at just a monetary standpoint. They're looking at just getting paid for the option. My opinion, they don't really have a passion for what they do, because if they did, they would probably spend a little more time on doing that show board. Anyways, our show boards are totally made here in the U.S. of A. They take 2 weeks to get. We need 4 photos. One main photo for the main show board. Then we need 3 other ones. We need an engine photo. We need an interior photo. And we need maybe a side shot or a back shot. So the main photo, an engine photo, an interior photo, and maybe a side shot. So 4 total photos. I know if you guys, you're thinking about it, you're saying, well, I work a lot, I don't have time to, get the truck out and, take some high quality, professional photographs, of it and all that. The guy that we did, the print for, the big show board, he took these, I believe, on his iPhone. And now, photos on your iPhone have become real good in, the last couple of years. And I think they'll continue to become real, good out there. So anyways, I think he was from Oregon out there. And I said, you know what, John, we need 4 photos, a main photo and 3 other photos. Well, since we own C10 America, we were putting him in, I think issue 3 or number 4. So he had already sent in photos for the magazine, and he said that he wanted a metal show board because he wanted to start taking that out to the shows out by him. And with the weather kind of changing, it being hot and then being cold, then maybe drizzling, maybe raining, and all that. And by the way, guys, I'm not telling nobody to take your car or truck out in the rain to do a show. That's totally on you guys. I'm not saying that because, me being a, photographer for over 30 years, I got some pretty expensive gear, guys. And I'm not going to take my gear out in, the rain. If I have a shoot coming up and, I keep on watching, the weather channel on, days I need to do shoots. And if it looks slightly like it's gonna rain or it got a chance on raining, I'm not gonna jeopardize, my equipment. So therefore, I would not tell you guys to jeopardize, your car or truck, coming out to a shoot. Now, I know if you're like Dad or myself or Miss Terry, you probably have a a ton of photos on, your phone. And, if that's the case, you can send us photos. You can email them to us or put a comment right down below, guys. Say, you know what? I like your idea of metal prints and all that. I definitely want a metal print. I want to save some money on a metal print. Normally they're $350, but if you go over to C10 America and you become a member, they're $250. So see how that works. If you're a member over in the group, I save you guys, some cha-ching, some money, some dinero. So, anyways, head over to C10 America Magazine.com. You can get an awesome sticker pack over there. Get signed up for the magazine. By the way, issue number 6 comes out September 4th. So I'm going to get cranking on that, a little later on, today, guys. So anyways, real quick, on the monologue, I've been talking about different things. I had to, get that stuff out there and, talk to you. I feel like I'm talking one-on-one to you. I see you over there on the couch. You're watching us. Or, you're in the car driving to work in the traffic. I hate traffic. I dealt with that every day that I lived in California with mom and dad out there, and to work back and forth. And then I worked for Nissan, for a delivery boy when I was younger. And, I would fight traffic all the time. They would send me down to San Diego. We're like an hour and a half away from San Diego. They would send me down to San Diego at 2 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. Is that not messed up? Traffic starts about probably 3:30, 4 o'clock. Okay. And they sent me at 2 o'clock down to, San Diego, out there in California when we lived out there. So I do not like, traffic. Anyways, guys, this is episode number 37 of, C10 America Mornings. By the way, guys, if, there's any folks out there that want to submit a video, we'll take and we'll edit it in to a, C10 America Mornings right here. So, if you have a video, of yourself, maybe of your, truck and all that, we'll take and we'll throw it on, the recording, not the live. I almost said that, caught myself, but I did not say it. Anyways, we have some awesome, beautiful 11 by 14 metal prints. If I can, guys, this is the original metal print right back here. We shot this one right down in Graham, Texas. So this was shot about 4 years ago, and look at the quality of the photo, the metal print. It is not gonna chip on you. It's not gonna fade on you. Now, it might chip, if you really drop it hard. Yeah, it's just like anything will chip, if you drop it hard enough. But if you take care of it, like, I've been taking care of this. This has been out in direct sunlight for 4 years, off and on, at the, shows and all that. This right here normally is $125, but if you're a member over in the group C10 America, you can get these for only 99 bucks. Yep, I'll say it again. You get these for 99 bucks being a member over in, the group. Totally free to be a member. All you need to do, go to C10 America on Facebook, hit that join button, become a group. We approve whatever you post in there, and you get a metal print of your truck for 99 bucks. 99 bucks, you got tax on that. Then to ship these, $125. So $125.99, some tax, and they come in 2 weeks. And if you're not a member and you want one, they're $125. Then you got one. Then you got $25 for shipping, and you got tax, on that. So if you guys become a member, you save some, money right, there. And then I want to say a big shout out to our buddy here. That was upside down. Big shout out here to our buddy Richard Bernhardt. He's in our group over in C10 America. That is freaking awesome. Anyways, we took it. We had to make one for ourselves, and we sent him one too. That he bought one. So this came out so freaking awesome. The colors, all that. Boardwalk, Kings. He was on the boardwalk right not too long after he got his truck done. He was out there for a show. He took some. All these are from his cell phone. So pretty much our magazine, C10 America, it's pretty much built by you guys, from you guys, with your photos. All we do, we'll take 2 paragraphs from you guys, and we'll write the entire story, and we mock it up just like, so you guys. And by the way, our metal prints, I need to say, are taking off like hotcakes. These, I think that the reason is because we're an online magazine, download magazine, and everybody, they want to be able to show somebody they were in a magazine. So whether you hang this in the shop, in the garage, the man cave, the she shed, the den, or the office, why not show off your pride and joy? You guys worked so hard for that pride and joy. And now to get one of these, there's a couple of factors. You need to be a member of C10 America, number 1. Number 2, we need to feature you in the magazine. if you're not featured in the magazine, you won't be getting one of these. We don't just mock this up for people like those posters over my head, right back there. Those are man cave posters. We make those look like the front cover of a magazine. We do that, but on those and other things. Okay, but this right here is an actual living, breathing magazine. And we're not going to do anything to try, we're not going to try and do anything to tarnish, the name C10 America. And that being, do a fake mock-up of a truck. Now, we might do a mock-up, we do have a mock-up magazine called C10 Sickness. We might do a mock-up, of, that. Excuse me. But we're not going to do the mock-up of, C10 America unless you're chosen to be in the magazine. And then, anyways, I just started doing these prints too because of my future wife and all that said, hey, can you do this for the family? So I did it for her mom, my soon-to-be mother-in-law. But anyways, this is the first one I ever did. I don't do photography of people, only cars, because people talk back, and cars and trucks don't talk back. But this was by the wisteria plant, all purple, and my fiance's mom's backyard. It was like three Easters back. So that was awesome. And that was the first shot that I ever took, doing like a group shot, of family, all that. So if you guys out there even have some awesome family photos, maybe, family photos around, the awesome, C10, then, send them in, and they make great Christmas gifts. Guys, we just have to show you guys maybe tomorrow, see if I can print one out, maybe later on, or tomorrow. Maybe I'll try and show you on tomorrow's show and all that. But anyways, guys, if you're not signed up, head over to www.c10americamagazine.com. Get signed up only for $10, but you become a member, and that $10 goes down to $5. So if you're not a member, $10. If you are, $5. Comment right down below. Let me know. Who knows? You might be a member already, and you might have said early on, well, I'm not going to sign up right now, but, maybe later on I will. And maybe you just haven't signed up, well, let us know if you're a member, and we'll get you, signed up and all that. Anyway, stickers. We taken, if you've seen, the table, right here, I'll show you a little. You see part of this table right here. The tabletop that we use is I didn't want to go into debt on, the tables and all that starting out the magazine a long time ago. So what I did, I went to Walmart and I got me a 6 foot table, which I don't have in here. I don't have room for it. Got me a 6 foot table. I got me an 8 foot table. And I got me 2 4 feet tables. 1 4 feet here, 1 4 foot there. Then my 8 foot, boom, right back here. So that's all that fits in, the studio. Is good, to go. So, anyways, I bought the tables at Walmart, but they're too plain Jane. I wanted, something with them, to make them look kind of cool. So I go over to, the lumber department, right? I pick out a 8x10 sheet of plywood, 8x10 sheet of plywood. Maybe it's maybe an inch, thick, not too thick, just an inch. And I took and had a measuring tape on me. I measured, the width of the table, which was maybe about, 4 feet wide. Then I took that piece of plywood back to the guy in lumber that, cuts, the wood. And I said, okay, I need the 8 feet on it, but I need this cut, 4 feet wide. Can you do it? He's like, yeah, no problem. So he took and like He-Man, he picked it up and put it right on, the little saw roller thing, and rolled that in, measured everything up to, 4 feet wide and all that, and boom, he cut it. So, anyways, on my table is here in my office, I have a piece of plywood, which for 2 days I sanded, got very, very smooth, and then cleaned it off, and I applied decals to it. And then after I applied all the decals, then I came back with polyurethane clear. I didn't want the gloss at first. I wish I did the gloss. I guess I could add more decals. And then when we go to, when we go to move, then I can apply some more clear, but, gloss. So, anyways, we have that table over there is done with gloss. I love the gloss because all your decals, they kind of, come up in, at the table. They're, cool. So, anyways, folks, if you have any stickers, any decals, lying around, the shop, the man cave, the she shed, we want them. We need them. We're taking that table. We're doing a restoration on that table right there. I know you're probably wondering why it's all covered up. Well, I bought that table on Marketplace for $10. And the tabletop is all messed up, scratched. It's a black cherry, but it's kind of scratched. So I wanted to cover that up and use it at the same time. I wasn't ready at the time, or I didn't know at the time where I wanted to go with it, but now I know. So I need your decals out there, to help me cover, the top. And I want to say a big shout out to my buddy Dan Jackson, Anthony Jackson, father and son out of Las Vegas, Nevada. They sent us, some awesome decals in to, cover, that table back there. That's awesome. Then big shout out to Brad Gardner. He's a member also over in the group C10 America. So big shout out to him. Big shout out to Iron Carriers. You guys rock out there, Iron Carriers. You guys sent us 2 ball caps. They have a little skull on the front, a little skull on the side. 2 T-shirts, one with a C30 dually, and one in the back with the C10 white and a black shirt. And guys, you got it right. I'm an XL. I wear an XL, so right when I was able to put it on, that was so cool. So, and it was check out the live coming up at 9 o'clock over on C10 America in the group. I'll be wearing your white T-shirt over there. I wore your black one, I think, here or on a live. So I'll be wearing the white one come at 9 o'clock on the live. Go check that out. Everybody that sends us a sticker or some stickers, we will take and we will shout their name here on this mic, that mic back there, on the podcast. We'll talk about you guys, podcast, YouTube, Facebook, and we'll just get everybody knowing about you or your business, and that's what it is, guys. It's pretty much networking. I'll help you guys out. You help me. I'll help you. Back and forth and all that. So, anyways, I did that shout outs. And it was coming up on the podcast back there. We took and we sent a couple of emails out. One person we have already down that is gonna do it is none other than, you guys remember her. She was on the hit TV show American Hot Rod with her hubby, my hot rod icon mentor that got me going in the direction of photography. None other than Joe Coddington, the wife of late great hot rod icon Boyd Coddington. We love the guy. I love the guy. I remember as a young kiddo, I was with Dad. Dad would always take me to, hot rod shows. I remember one in, for example, out at the Anaheim Convention Center, out there in California, right off Cadilla, right across from Disneyland out there, and I remember Boyd was out there. He was the man, the hot rod guru back then. He was showing off, his awesome, hot rods that he had built and all that. So me and Dad remember seeing Boyd at, these shows and all that, and to call his wife, wife of many years, Joe Coddington, a friend that is truly, awesome. I want to get Boyd's, sons on, the podcast too, and I'm thinking maybe after I get Joe Coddington, on the podcast, it might be a little easier getting Boyd Jr. and, couple of the other ones, on there too as well. So, anyways, we had talked to her. I have her phone number, so I called her, text her, and said, "Hey, I want to put you on the podcast. Would you be willing to come on it?" And she said, "Yeah, just give me a date." And then I'll be sending out another email to my buddy Mark Tao from Gotham Garage out there in Temecula, California. If you have not seen his show, man, he was working so hard when I lived out there in California, in Temecula, getting a show going. He finally got a show. It's called Rust to Riches. His shop is Gotham Garage. It's seen on Netflix right now. I think they're shooting probably, I want to say, episode number 7. That's a cool show. I love Caveman over there, man. I want to interview, everybody over there. That would be a riot podcast to get, everybody on, the podcast. That would be, so cool out there. So, anyways, we have, a couple more irons in the fire emails that we sent out. We sent out an email to Jay Leno out there. We haven't got a response back, but probably later on today or tomorrow, we're sending an email out to Joe Martin, Bill down there in Houston at Extensive. So if you're watching, Bill, we want to get you on, the podcast. Then, I've been talking to him, friends with Spot, that has, that other awesome, classic truck company, t-shirt company, swag. Spot used to work for Bill for a long time, so I'll be getting Spot on the podcast as well. Guys, we have a bunch of people. I want to get Richard Rollins on the podcast to talk about, the Texas skid mark, the awesome 7071, C10 that they built for, SEMA, and then they give away in their many raffles. That was awesome. And let's say I got an email going out to Tim Allen, at the end of this week. Just a lot of, stuff going on here in, the studio. And plus, you guys out there, we always want to talk to you guys. Is not just, these big names. Of course, we throw a big name in there once in a while, but, the podcast is pretty much based on, you guys out there, all your awesome stories. I just want to throw it up, make it a little more interesting at times, throw in, somebody famous, mix it up, but I want, everybody from, here in YouTube, over on, the Facebook, all around, all you guys to get in on, the, like, who I want to talk to. I want to talk to, that father that was videotaping his 2 daughters rebuilding, the back end of, that classic car, that classic, truck. And they're putting the gears in it. They're using the, I'm drawing a blank. The gun, the wrenches, all that stuff. They have the little gloves on. Dad, you're doing an awesome, phenomenal job. So, anyways, I would love to, talk to him. Maybe, you know, if we could do an interview with him and his two daughters, on the podcast, talking about, you know, what they were doing, on the video, maybe explain to like other people that don't know what they were doing, what they were actually doing when they were being filmed. But that is awesome. Anyways, folks, I'm gonna go ahead and get off here. We're at 6:26. Excuse me right now. I want to thank all you guys out here in YouTube for watching. We love all you guys out there, and you need to go to C10 America over on Facebook, because at 9 o'clock we're doing our live. We have one more day to go this week for the live, so make sure you get today's and tomorrow's. We end every live with a verse out of the Bible. So we got a little Bible, a men's Bible from our friend Jeff Roller out there, in Parker, Colorado. And probably about 3 months ago, 2 months ago, I started ending, the video with a prayer. So whether or not it's a prayer from, myself or a verse I read from, the Bible, we do that over in, the group and all that. We love all you guys. Thanks for watching, this episode. If you missed any part of it, you're just coming in, you miss any part, go ahead and collect it, again, and, watch it. By the way, guys, our YouTube channel is not monetized yet. If you want to give the channel, a little, support, help out, monetary wise, we have a tip jar right down in the corner. Well, okay, it's a donation link. If you guys feel the need to, or you want to, that would be, awesome. Throw out like a quarter, in the tip jar before leaving. Or, you know what? If you can afford to do that, or you don't want to do that, don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. We know from the past, some people reached out, and said, hey, how can we help? How can we expand what you're doing? We love what you're doing. We love how you're bringing God back into your lives. We love your YouTube videos. What can we do to help you, keep on doing what you're doing? So that's why we put that down there. If you can, or you don't want to, donate, that is totally okay. That's awesome. But the only one thing we ask of you, keep supporting us by talking about us. The biggest thing I think out there in the world today is word of mouth. And so if we get two people talking about C10 America, this live, or, the brand, the group, then those two people are going to talk to two other people. And those two people are going to talk to maybe 4 people. And those 4 people might end up talking to 8 people. So it's going to be, a tidal wave, guys. So that is, awesome. And we go to, you know, these shows all the time, and, folks come up to us, all the time. And they say, you know what, we love what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing, and not too many people, are doing what you're doing. So we love it. Keep it going. I had somebody in, the group on Facebook the other day, maybe last week. They sent me a text or a private message, and they said, you know what? I cannot wait for your daily prayer. Every time I get on Facebook, I look forward to, your daily prayer. Keep it up. Keep doing it. And, I kept that up, keep on doing that. I put a daily prayer post up. Then I talk about a prayer, afterwards and all that. So that is, so cool. So we love all you guys out there. Hopefully you loved, the show today. We need to get off here, get on, some other stuff. We got to start cracking. And real quick, share something else with you. I had issue number 6 almost done because, let's be honest here, guys. September 4th is right around the corner. So I was almost done with issue number 6. Well, the computer took a kaboot on me, and boom, all that. So, I went to Google, find out what was going on with the software, about all this. Well, I have 4 or 5 external drives, and I've been working off the external drive on, on the magazine. Well, they tell you don't work off the external drive because it could make your files corrupt. Something could happen to, that drive. They're not made to handle all that memory. Now, meaning all the memory from the software and then all the memory from, saving over and over, on that is taking a time, taking its time, it's killing that drive. So they said work on it on the computer and then save it and then put a copy over on, the, computer or on the, drive and all that. So it's good, that way. So anyways, hey guys, thanks for, watching this episode. I think we're getting up there. We're at 6:33, so I'm getting off here. We love you. Get some metal prints, and if you're catching the tail end of the metal print, go back and we show you awesome metal prints. Maybe after I get a show board done, I'll show you, the show board and all that. And maybe I'll even, real quick, a lot of you guys, and gals for that matter, out there here on YouTube, you have, your swag wear, down below, and you can click on it and buy it. I will be having a swag wear right down below, so you can click on it, and go over, and purchase, all that. So we love you guys. We'll see you soon. We'll see you tomorrow. And just because the live stop at Friday, the YouTube videos keep going because we can do a YouTube video, the night before and put it up. The live is, the live. So we love you guys. We'll talk to you guys soon. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a safe and sane day. Stay blessed. God bless you. And we'll talk to you guys soon. See you tomorrow. Bye.